welcome back to Community Focus on Channel 6 TV. I'm Kenny Fogel, your host. Glad you could join us today. And we got the head guru here from the Nelson County School Systems, Mr. Anthony Orr, and he's here to talk to us a little bit about something that comes up every year about this time, and that's our kids are going back to school. And after a 3-month vacation, Anthony's all too well rested and had an easy day today, first day back to school and everything. So, or is that tomorrow?
Well, actually, our kids in Nelson County don't start until the 10th.
10th
So
August.
we've got just under another week before.
So what's the
kids
most stressful time? Leading up to school coming back, or the actual day they show up?
Oh no, the day they show up is easy. I think getting ready for it is when we tend to be at our busiest. But once the kids show up, everything kind of falls into place.
Yeah.
You've done a lot of planning by that point. You've got your folks ready. You've got your systems in place. And when the kids come in, I think it's kind of a nice refreshment on this is why we're here. We've been working hard this summer. We've been getting ready. And when the kids show up, everybody's happy to see them. And that's really not a stressful day. The folks in schools do the hard work, so maybe it's not so fair for me to say, but I think we all feel a sense of relief, actually, when the kids come on back and we can get back to business.
Well, is there any big changes coming up this year, or is it Nelson County, or is it just same old business as usual?
You know, I'm a believer in always getting better. And so I think that we're always going to have some things that will be new when we start back to school. One of the things I think that kids, at least, and some of our staff will be excited about is that we've kind of relaxed the dress code again a little bit. The main part of the week, Monday through Thursday, is going to be as it has been for the last several years with the collared shirt, kind of like what I have on now. But when we get to Friday, we're going to have Spirit Day Fridays in all of our schools, so that on Fridays, students don't have to wear a collar. I shouldn't do that. Students don't have to wear a collared shirt as long as they wear a school shirt. So it can be a school t-shirt, it can be a school sweatshirt, as long as it's got something to do with school. And so obviously the kinds of things that kids would wear to ball games, whether they're playing or watching, will be part of that. But I'm hoping that we'll have some clubs who will use this maybe even as a small fundraiser every now and then to say, hey, we've got $5 or $6 t-shirts for an event that we've got coming up, and kids can wear those on Fridays. But I think it's a nice way for kids to have something to look forward to every week. We're even doing something similar with staff to say to our staff, our teachers and principals and counselors and such, that when kids are in dress code, we want adults to be in dress code and to dress at least as professionally as our kids do. But then when Friday comes, it's good for everybody to show their school spirit and wear a school shirt. So I'm kind of excited about that. That's a small thing, but my kids at my house will be excited about that, and I expect that will be something that everybody can look forward to.
Well, you got several schools that you got to fill, so you're anticipating a pretty good amount of students coming back this year. Is that going to be up this year? You don't know yet, or what?
It's always difficult to tell in the lead up to school, but right now our numbers look good with a little bit of growth, and usually we see that pick up over the first 10 to 15 days of school. We'd like to have everybody come on that first day of August the 10th, but we know folks kind of tend to filter in the first few days, so that all looks good. But we've got a lot of new faces to welcome them. Anytime you go through the summer, you're going to have some changes in teachers and in principals for us, and so I'm really excited because every year we have an opportunity to hire some of the best and brightest that are out there. And one of the things that we were able to do this year earlier than usual was to open up our vacancies and start searching. So I really feel like we've had the shot at some of the cream of the crop of new teachers and new principals that are out there. And so as I've been getting to meet and spend time with those folks over the last few days as we get ready for the kids, they are just a really sharp group of folks. We know their heart and their work ethic is in the right place, and so we're excited to see what that's going to mean for kids.
Well, obviously, you know, this time of year you're working about planning, academic planning, but obviously there's many other things going on. I mean, you got to get the buses ready, you got to get the cafeteria ready. I mean, there's just so many things that people don't realize that it's on your daily schedule.
That's true, and there certainly is a lot of that preparation that's going on now, but you know, really kind of going back to that staffing piece, we've got some of the best folks I've ever worked with. Our bus garage, they've been working and planning their routes for a good while. We sent those out to parents, and the media helps us get those communicated. But if people have questions about what time their bus will arrive or drop their children off, or what their bus number is, they can call our bus garage, and that information is all online too, to be able to find those numbers at nelson.kyschools.us. I'll get that plug in there. But we just have folks who know their business really well. Food services, we've got great staff in our food services, and so they're getting geared up, planning their meals, always working to help school food be a little tastier than people might remember it. But
hey, I went to Nelson County, and I'll be honest with you, I never complained about the meals. I love the meals out there myself.
Well, you know, I think there's a part of the job description that comes with students that they're going to complain about school food. That's just part of the job. But our folks are doing a great job of getting things ready. And we've got a few more days that we'll be scurrying, putting the finishing touches on things, but we're looking for kids to show up next week. It'll be fun.
All right. Well, again, you know, I know there's a lot going on in your world right now. Is there anything new that the parents need to know that you've been working on, or maybe that you haven't gotten out, or is getting out and still want to make sure they know about it?
I think that main thing is really that change for Friday attire for students. I think that might be kind of surprising for parents to know that we've made that a little more relaxed on Fridays. So if we can let parents know about that, that'll help them ease into that transition. There'll be some other things for our kids and even our parents to look forward to. We're really trying to open up opportunities for teachers to try new things. And so we've put some small grant opportunities out in some of the schools, and really where we've had the greatest uptake on that is with our media centers. We've had several of our librarians and media center persons take grant opportunities, and they're going to be working to build maker spaces. You know, that's probably a buzzword that's out there that we've heard some talk about, where we get kids involved in building and making things that help solve problems, building models, and trying different ways out to solve a concern or a solution, find a solution. So we're going to be seeing some of those crop up in more of our schools. We're looking for new ways to add more opportunities for kids to have their hands on technology. Not just accessing the internet, that's certainly a good thing, and we are able to do that, but to be able to use that technology as a new problem-solving tool, not just an access tool, but really a problem-solving tool. So over the course of the year, some of those things are going to begin to develop more and take better shape. So I think we've got a lot of good things for everybody to look forward to.
Well, I'll be honest with you, as an older guy, I know my grandkids are out of state right now, haven't been into a classroom in a while. How is technology? Is there computers in every classroom? What's going on in the world of technology in schools?
So I think what you would find in more of our schools is that we have invested quite a bit into mobile technology. We found the Google Chromebook to be a really very powerful tool, but really very affordable tool for our students to be able to, again, build their own solutions, to take notes that way sometimes, but to share documents online. The technology that's involved in that seems pretty simple, but what it accomplishes is really powerful when you have students who are working. Sometimes they're sitting next to each other working online collaboratively, but you can have kids working on different machines really in different parts of the world and looking at the collaborative effort online on the same screen, everybody seeing everybody's contribution at the same time. And I think that is just a new way to collaborate, which really aligns more to the kind of work that you and I do on a day-to-day basis, where we're not hunched over a worksheet, answering questions all by ourselves, but we're actually interacting with other people and building the learning together. And so I think that's the kind of thing that we see technology doing in classrooms more and more frequently. It does, on the other side, I would add that technology helps us get kids who are a little behind, caught up better. We've got better programming in place for them to be able to do that. But then we've also got better opportunities for those kids who might be ahead of the rest of the class to do some independent work on their own. So I think we try to make sure that that use of technology, again, is not just about word processing, not just about online access and internet access and Googling all of the answers, but really working together to find solutions.
Well, speaking of technology, I know last year, and I can't remember the terminology, but there were certain days you had when kids were out of school for snow and things of that nature, and they could still do their work through the computer.
That's right, and that's actually a shift that we're going to push a little further this year. We'll still have what we call best days.
That's what the words were. I couldn't remember that.
They're also called non-traditional instructional days. That's the state's language for them. I think that's a little less exciting than saying it's a best day. But nevertheless, we will still have those available for when bad weather comes. We used 3 of those days last year, and it seemed to work really well. I don't expect us to vary much from that, of course, depending on the weather.
Right.
But we're hopeful that we'll have more opportunities for more students to use technology in that process next year. And so teachers will be a little more oriented in that direction. But we still know that we have a certain percentage of our students in the district that don't have that kind of technology. They may have a cell phone that's even a smartphone, but sometimes that doesn't always lend itself well to doing homework.
They're too smart for me. I couldn't figure them out.
So we'll be sure that we're sensitive to that, but we will be using more technology in those non-traditional instructional days, but giving lots of options for parents as well.
Capital projects, before we get out of here, is there anything going on? I know Thomas Nelson's got some big stuff going on.
Yes, we've got a couple of, we've got a couple of big things going on. With Thomas Nelson, we're finally getting to complete that building with the auditorium being added. We'll be working on that throughout the course of the school year, so we'll have that set up so that kids can come and go safely and not be in the way of the construction work and vice versa. But we're going to be excited. We expect this time next year to have the auditorium finished at Thomas Nelson. The other thing that we're really excited about is that our Early Learning Center for our preschool students is also under construction. This time, in that case, it's an expansion. We're going to more than double our capacity for preschool students when we're finished. And so we're going to have bigger spaces and more classrooms for kids. And that too, we expect to have online for next year. So kids are going to see, kids and families will see those construction projects in progress all throughout the school year. But this time next year, we expect to open those up and have them online and ready to go for kids. So that's exciting.
I know you got some open houses coming up here in the next week or so. That gives kids and the parents the opportunity to come in, meet a teacher, or just look around the new schools.
Absolutely. You know, we've really tried over the last several years to turn those back to school activities from being here are the supplies that you need, here are the clothes that you need. Instead of it being just an information communication process, what we want those to be is really a celebration that we're coming back to school and we're happy to see each other. And so our schools have done a really good job over the years of moving in that direction. So those will be happening over the course of the next couple of days. Really, Thursday, this week and Friday are going to be big days for that. Be a few more things coming on in the 8th and 9th just before we start. But all of that information is on our school websites and accessible through our district website. And I know that principals have been communicating that directly to families as well.
Okay, and I know you still got the automated system and somebody signs up for when school, some delay or something of that nature. So.
That's right. We'll continue to use the systems that allow us to communicate with parents directly, either through text messaging or emails or phone calls, as long as folks make sure to keep us up to date. A lot of times, you know, somebody gets a new phone line, if they'll be sure to let the school know, then we can have that information so that we can communicate directly. Facebook, as we gear up, our social media efforts will increase, so you'll see your schools, the district, and even myself kind of come back in full force over the next few days with Twitter and Facebook and online
it's more
websites.
than a number 2 pencil anymore. So
that's for sure.
Well, Anthony, we sure appreciate you coming in here, taking time out of your day to tell us a little bit about what to expect this year. An exciting year coming up, I'm sure.
It's always a pleasure, and it's always going to be fun.
Always going to be fun, and always moving ahead. I appreciate it.
Yes,
Anthony Orr, Superintendent of the Nelson County School District, here with us today. We appreciate him stopping in, updating us on what's going on, because it's back to school time. And watch out for the buses out there. And they'll be on the roads, and we'll all be enjoying a better school year, and hopefully we'll all have a good time. So stick around, a lot more to come here on Channel 6 TV. We'll be right back.